Hey guys, I'm Rachel Bennett with Wildwood Realty, and I've got a monthly market update for you. If you are a homeowner in Georgetown or Williamson County, our market has changed in a pretty significant way. So stay tuned for some important advice specifically for you. Let's get started. All right, so this information is specifically for Georgetown. Now, this is the data from the Austin Board of Realtors for the month of July. Every month, toward the end of the month, they come out with the data from the previous month. So that's what we're looking at here. This is July information. So in the month of July, the median sale price in Georgetown was $380,000, and that's down 6.2% year over year. So last year, it was about 6% higher. We had 88 closed sales. Our months of inventory is 3.8 months. So this means if we put no more houses on the market, how long would it take to sell through the inventory that we currently have? Our market is about 3.8 months. This has moved up to about 0.7 months from a year ago. We have 120 new listings in the month of July. We have a total of 316 active listings, which is up 20% year over year. Pending sales were at 96, and days on market is averaging at about 44 days. So we'll go over what this means in just a second, but an important thing to note here is we can see we've got lower sales and higher listings. We've got a lot more inventory because of interest rates, because of the economy, because of the election. We've got a lot of uncertainty from buyers. And so we have a lot of buyers right now sitting on the sidelines. We can see our closed sales are lower, our pending sales are lower, demand is down, and inventory is up, which is, of course, why we can see a change in our median sale price. So moving on, what does that mean for you as a Georgetown buyer or a seller? So buyers, this means you have choices. Home prices have come down pretty significantly from the craziness of 2021 and 2022, where we had no inventory and prices were skyrocketing. At this point, prices have come down. There is a lot of inventory, which means you've got options when it comes to buying a house. This really is your moment to get a great deal. We're going to talk about interest rates in a little bit, but interest rates have come down just a little bit in the last few weeks. So really, this is a great time for you as a buyer to get a good deal on a home in Georgetown and in the surrounding area. Home prices are the lowest they have been in quite a while, which again, we'll look at in just a little bit. I have a chart to share with you guys on that. The important thing though to note, a lot of what we're seeing from the buyers that are out there is they're, trying to come in, putting in crazy low offers, really just trying to negotiate like crazy. It is important to remember that most of these homeowners out there that are selling their homes, they're locked in at a very low rate. So in order for them to sell that home, they're really going to have to feel like this is a win-win for you and for them, right? So make sure you're reasonable in your negotiation expectations. You're not going to be able to come in and just lowball left and right. You still have to be reasonable in those negotiations. But like I said, it is time for you to get a great deal in this market. And for sellers, a few things here. Your automated valuation models are likely not accurate. So a lot of times those automated valuations that you see on different websites around the internet, those really are based on just not random, but they look at, houses kind of in the surrounding area. They're not necessarily able to look and go, hey, what's happening in the overall market? Are prices declining or increasing, or what's happening? And a lot of times they're looking at sold data. And in a market that's stabilizing like ours is, where prices have been coming down, those automated valuation models have a really hard time with really seeing where things are at today versus where they've been. So your automated valuations on different websites that you're going to see online are probably a little bit high for what the actual value of your house is based on market demand today. Second, pre-list prep is more important than ever. You guys saw in Georgetown, we have a 20% increase in the amount of inventory that we had a year ago. This means when you put your home on the market, there is a lot of competition. And this means that you've got to make sure that you spend the time preparing your house so that it is ready to show a potential buyer so they can walk through the door, fall in love with your home, and want to put in an offer. And so make sure you get some expert help on that. And then third, be patient. A couple years ago, everybody got used to the fact that their house was going to sell in a weekend. It was going to go like that. It was going to sell super fast and super quick. And, occasionally all the right things fall into place and that could still happen. But in a market like this, where inventory is very high and buyer demand is lower, you should expect that it's going to take your house a little bit longer to sell. And you should expect that buyers are going to come in and want to negotiate. So just be prepared for that. Looking at Williamson County in, overall, the median sale price in all of Williamson County was $428,500, which is down just less than 1% a year from a year ago, which is great. We had 943 homes that sold in Williamson County, so that actually is up a little bit, which is interesting. Our months of inventory is at 4.1. We had about 1,260 new listings, 3,607 active listings, which is up about 16% year over year in the county overall. Pending sales at 885, which is down just about 1%. And then days on market in all of Williamson County is about 62. So a similar story here. The numbers are slightly different, but similar story to the rest of the county. In other Williamson County cities, here's just a few quick things that we'll take note of. I'm not going to read all of these numbers to you guys. You can see them here on the screen. But a few interesting things. So Liberty Hills median sale price is $538,300. It's the highest that I'm currently seeing in Williamson County. So that's pretty interesting. They've got 169 active listings and 6 months of inventory. So we can see that sale price, that median sale price is a little bit higher. We've got we've got more inventory and it's taking a little bit longer for those houses to sell. Interest rates are higher. So once you start getting into those higher price points, it typically is just going to take longer to sell in a market like this because there's less buyers out there. A couple other interesting things to note, we can still see in Round Rock, their months of inventory is only at 3.1, which is pretty great. Their median sale price is at 505 with 137 active listings. So as big of a city as Round Rock is, their inventory is not quite as high. They've got about 3.1 months over there. Hutto and Taylor are both still pretty affordable options for Williamson County. I don't have Jarrell on here, but Jarrell is also an affordable option. So if you're a buyer looking for, where can I buy a house in Williamson County and get the most bang for my buck, you probably want to be taking a look at Hutto, Taylor, Jarrell, some of those areas. Quick note on interest rates. So over the last few weeks, we have seen interest rates come down. Now, we haven't seen rates as low as they are today since about May of 2023, so more than a year ago. But this hasn't necessarily done enough to motivate buyers just yet. We're just not seeing buyers come out of the woodwork just yet. Of course, we all know that there's been discussions of a recession. The economy is not super strong right now. The election is coming up. There's still a lot of things that are keeping those buyers on the sidelines that hopefully will kind of shake out over the next few months. And we are anticipating a rate cut on September 18th, which is part of what has already brought those interest rates down, the anticipation of that rate cut that is coming. So positive news there as far as interest rates are concerned. And hopefully we'll continue to see that positive news and get some more buyers out of the woodwork. And then just a quick note here. So our market is correcting itself. I've heard people say like, is the market going to crash? Maybe I should wait and I can get a house at half price a year from now. And that's unlikely to happen. We're not seeing the signs of just a market crash. We are seeing our market correct. 2021 and 2022 were chaotic and unsustainable, and prices increased so quickly that was just not realistic or sustainable for the long term. So our market is correcting. You can see here a couple of points that I've notated. So in Q1 of 2021, that median close price for homes in all of the Austin area was about $400,000. In Q2 of 2024, we saw that at about $455,000. So we're still seeing that median close price higher now than it was in the first quarter of 2021. Q2, I believe, of 2021 was at about $470,000. So that's, January of 2021 is when we saw prices just really skyrocket and the market went completely nuts. So if you bought your house in the first quarter of 2021 or before that, you probably still have some solid equity in your home. It's even possible if you bought in 21 or 22, depending on how you bought, where you bought, that you might also have some equity. So if that's something that you're thinking through, definitely reach out. We'd be happy to run an equity report for you. And really, though, my big thing here is looking all the way back to 2011, our median closed price was $185,000. So, over the course of 10, 12, 13 years, home prices have increased pretty significantly. A large chunk of that is in the last 5, 6 years. But in the long term, real estate tends to go up, right? I won't say always. I don't like using the phrase always. Most people will say real estate always goes up in the long term. But I would say, that is something that we have seen consistently, is that in the long term, when you look over the course of 10, 15 years, which a lot of people today are in their houses for 10 plus years before they sell those homes. And typically over that large span of time, you are going to see home values increase. So real estate is a solid investment as far as that is concerned. So what should I take away from all of this? We talked about a lot of numbers, a lot of information. Inventory has increased significantly across Williamson County. We have way more houses than we've had in a very long time, more than 10 years since the last time we saw this kind of inventory in our area. Liberty Hill had the highest median sale price and the highest months of inventory, which we discussed quickly. When you've got houses in that higher price point, typically they are going to take a little bit longer to sell. There's fewer buyers out there who are able to pay those prices, and especially with property taxes and interest rates where they are today. Hutto and Taylor have the most affordable median sale prices, so those are great places to look, especially with all the growth happening out in Taylor and the Hutto area. Definitely some solid investment out there. Sellers, so if you're considering selling your home, here's one thing to note. If your home is listed above the median sale price in your area, you should expect that it's going to take longer to sell. If your house is listed below that median sale price, you'll probably be somewhere close to that average days in market. As long as your pre-list prep is accurate, your pricing is solid, your house is appealing to buyers. And buyers, we are seeing high levels of inventory across the county. So this is your time. I have heard buyers say since I got into real estate, well, I'm just going to wait. Maybe prices will come down. I'm just going to wait. I'm not ready. I'm just going to wait. Buyers are always waiting for something. Over the course of 2019, 2020, and then even into 21 and 22, I kept hearing buyers say, you know what, at some point prices are going to come down. And here we are, prices have come down. Of course, I think a lot of those buyers didn't expect that interest rates were going to be so high. That's what has brought our prices down. And so it's really just a moment of figuring out, hey, is this a goal that I truly want to shoot for? And if so, how do I make a plan so that I can make that happen? There's still a lot of opportunity out there in this market. If you want to be a homeowner, there is a lot of opportunity for you. And so definitely reach out. Let's talk through it. Let's create a plan together so that you can reach that goal. And then lastly here, if rates continue to go down, once we get through the election, once we get through some of this uncertainty, we will likely see an increase in buyer activity. And like we talked about, we've got higher inventory and lower demand, which is leading to prices coming down. It's the law of supply and demand. We all know it, right? More demand is going to mean, inventory isn't necessarily as high. You're going to have a lot more people buying houses. You're going to have more competition. At some point, that will make us see prices start heading in the upward direction again. So if you're considering buying a home, really, this is a great opportunity for you to get in at a good price before we start to kind of see things stabilize and then start to move in that positive direction again. So that's all I've got for you guys today. If you have questions about real estate, my team and I are here to be a resource to you. We are always happy to help. You can use this QR code to get to our links page where you can follow us on social media. You could shoot us a DM. You could schedule an appointment. You can reach out via cell phone, text, or call. However you want to get a hold of us, we would love to hear from you. If you just have questions or if you want to sit down and create a plan together, we would love to be helpful for you. That's all I've got for you guys today. What do you think? What is your thought on Williamson County, on Georgetown, on our real estate market? Leave me some comments below, and I'll see you guys next time. Have an amazing day. Bye.